What's up, everybody? Welcome to the College Loop pregame preview for tomorrow's second round matchup of the number 1 seed Houston Cougars versus the number 9 seed Auburn Tigers in the BJCC Arena. That game will take place at, I believe, 6:10 tomorrow as this is coming out. This comes out tonight, actually. So, Daniel, what are your first thoughts going in? This is your first actual pregame right before a game, and this is all we're talking about for about 20 minutes. What are your thoughts going into this game?
Well, the first thing I always look at, ESPN's analytics are giving Auburn only a 14.3% chance to win. Houston is a 5.5-point favorite, and the over-under is 131.5. So, just obviously ESPN's not very high on the Tigers on this one, and it will be tough. But if they shoot like they did yesterday, I don't really hate their chances.
Yeah, and you look at yesterday's performance of the Houston Cougars. They took down the Northern Kentucky Norse 63-52, which really needed a last few minute effort by the Cougars. This is a game where it did not seem like they had complete control over the 16 seed at all.
No.
And this isn't really a neutral environment they're going into tomorrow in Birmingham. You're going to be dealing with half and half Bama fans and Auburn fans in that arena still. And Houston probably showed up a little bit. I saw them a little bit in there yesterday. But if you're right, if Auburn can shoot like they did yesterday, which 36% from the 3-point line is borderline perfect for this team. I mean, we've yet to have seen a better shooting performance than that, especially in postseason play. If Auburn can out rebound Houston, I think they're in good shape. I don't think, but outside of the guards and whatnot, I don't really think Auburn is outsized by that much of a margin. Their center, I believe, is Jarris Walker, is 6'8". He's like the tallest one in their starting five for Houston. If Johni Broome steps on that court and plays like he did against Iowa, Auburn could win this thing easily.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you just need another 19-point effort from him. Let's see who else popped off. I believe Wendell Green put up 15, 8 of which from that free throw line, where he has been lights out as of late. That is 32 consecutive free throws made for Wendell Green Jr., which is a school record, and probably bound to go a little higher than that. I don't want to jinx anything. Knock on wood for that. But Auburn seemed to play sound basketball. This has been the most complete performance we've seen from the Auburn Tigers this season, and I don't think there's a better time to do it when you're playing against Iowa.
Right. Another thing that was really cool, they had 5 players in double figures, and I think that's the first time we've seen that this year. Yeah. So that's really good, distribution, getting everyone involved, and I really feel like if we can see that again, I kind of like their chances.
Yeah, and so actually, I'm going to correct you. 6 players got into double digits.
6.
Katie Johnson, Trey Donaldson, which was a shock, shot 5 of 5 on all of his shots. That's 2 free throws and 3 3-pointers. Alan Flanagan put up 10, just barely got there. Wendell Green got 15. Jay Will got 11, and of course, Johni Broome with his 19 and 12 game. Actually, I kind of got swept under the rug. Alan Flanagan put up a double-double as well. I didn't even catch that. 10
I didn't
10.
either. Huh.
And then Trey Donaldson being the big storyline from this game, because I think 11 might be his career high thus far, just because he's very rarely been the guy to put up those double-digit points off the bench. It's usually been Katie Johnson, and Katie Johnson is a beast, and he's playing out of his mind right now. But with Trey Donaldson shooting lights out like that, you kind of are getting a little bit more confident in this Auburn team, who 26 points from the bench is crazy to think about. I've been blabbing on all season long about how this bench needs to put up more numbers, needs to put up more points than whatever KD's is putting up. But Trey Donaldson stepping up, Dylan Cardwell, Leo Berman getting those 2 points. It's hard for me to find a gripe in the bench putting up 26 points.
Right.
So going into tomorrow, what player are you looking at to have kind of, maybe if it's Johni Broome, just have another Johni Broome game that we saw, but what player are you looking at and this guy is going to be very important to Auburn moving on to the Sweet 16?
Well, once again, I would really like to see Trey have a double figure night. Obviously, like you said, Johni, And as you mentioned previously, Houston does have a shorter lineup. So it's about the same as Iowa's. So I would really like to see kind of Johni dominating the paint again. It's always nice to see Flan kind of have a good night. Those Flan having a good night and Auburn winning seem to go hand in hand. Has been one of the common themes throughout the year. All reliable, Jalen Williams. So really just kind of the same guys that showed out in the Iowa game. I would really like to kind of see them, come back, have another really good night. And hey, if we have 6 guys scoring double figures again, like I really love Auburn's chances.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the defensive matchup. I'm looking at Wendell Green, put up 3 steals. Would love to
Yeah,
see him do that again, especially if Marcus Sasser's not going to be 100%. He says he is, but I feel like that might just be a little bit of a lie because that's how it works. Auburn found a way to shut down Iowa's 3-point game, which we all thought was going to be really hard to do. When they did it with a new defense, the switch zone that they were playing, it caused a little bit of confusion at points. But Auburn's gonna have to had an extra day to get it right and playing a much tougher opponent than Iowa. You're playing a team that shoots the ball well just as much as Iowa can, and Auburn's gonna have to try to shut down the guard play from behind Marcus Sasser and Jamal Sheed. And you're looking at Zep Jasper and Wendell Green both as those are the guys you have to lock down to beat Houston. You're looking at Katie Johnson. He's going to come off the bench and lock these guys down. Trey Donaldson as well. Like the guards are going to be probably the most important position going into this game tomorrow.
I agree. Big guard game because, like you've said once, I've said once, I'll say it again. Houston's not that tall, so a lot of their bread and butter revolves around guard play. So it's going to be whichever team can get their guard play hot and moving first, I think will win. So it's really imperative for Auburn to get the ball rolling on that and get that going out the gate because it'll be hard to come back in this one.
Yeah, if you're looking at the stats, Houston is 9-1 in the last 10 games, averaging 72 points, 35 rebounds, and 14 assists, 8.6 steals per game, and 4.2 blocks, while shooting 43% from the field. Auburn in the last 10 games, 4-6 is our record, 75 points, 29 rebounds, 13 assists, 7 steals, 3 blocks, and shooting 44.3 from the field. And I have to say, Auburn's probably been playing way tougher opponents than Houston has these last few games. I mean, if you look at it from like not Missouri, but if you look at it from like Ole Miss, then yeah, maybe a little bit. But that you got Arkansas in that last 10-game stretch. You got Bama. You have Tennessee. You have all these teams that are all in the tournament, and Auburn's played them all. Houston, they lost to Memphis, I believe, in the AC championship.
Yeah,
And Auburn's also played Memphis. They lost too, but that was early on in the season. I think that Auburn's strength of schedule really helps them in this one because I think that American Conference is a good basketball conference, but it's not near the quality of the SEC. If you told me we were playing Tennessee, I'd be a little worried. But since we play Tennessee, I don't want to say I'm picking Auburn to win. I don't want to say that I'm going to jinx anything. But Auburn's ability to put up the same numbers as Houston has been putting up with lesser opponents. I like Auburn's chances in this game a lot more than I did probably a week ago. And if Auburn can use that Birmingham BJCC vibe that's got going on, and with Auburn just packing out that house, I think this plays a lot in Auburn's favor, and I think Houston should be a little worried about this.
I agree. It's as close to a home game as you're going to get when you're not playing at Neville Arena. So obviously there was a lot of orange and blue there yesterday. There will be a lot tomorrow. So yeah, it's going to feel like a home game, and there will be some Alabama and some Maryland fans running around. But I mean, I would imagine that the Alabama fans are probably going to be cheering for Houston, but hopefully the Auburn fans will drown them out like they always do. Even in Tuscaloosa, sometimes that happens because we all know. I'm not going to get into this. We all know who's got the better fans. And so yeah, just you got to take advantage of the basically home court you have.
Yeah, and again, that game will be played tomorrow at 6:10 p.m. It will be streaming on TBS. So make sure that you are, if you're not there, make sure you're still loud and proud watching on TV like I'm probably going to be doing. And Daniel, before we go, who are you taking?
I'm gonna take Auburn. Why
You'll
not?
take Auburn.
Right?
All right. Well, let's hope it's not another jinx because I'm also going to be taking the Auburn Tigers in this one because I'm feeling a little bit more confident than I was a few days ago. I think if Auburn can outsize them, outplay them, and use the crowd to their advantage, it's an Auburn home game. Why not?
I agree.
But Daniel, go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you, support you, love you.
You can follow me on Twitter at Daniel J. Locke, and all of my written work is with The Observer and with any Auburn student media outlet.
And of course, you can find me on the Auburn Daily Show every Monday with Lance Stott and Wednesday with Harrison Tarr, who could not be here today for personal matters. And I also covered for him today on the Auburn Daily Show. Me and Daniel just pick a habit of covering for him no matter what. So also follow the College Loop literally everywhere. That is Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, that's Instagram, that's YouTube, if I didn't say it already, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Google Podcasts. But sadly, we do not have MySpace quite yet. Make sure to go follow Harrison Tarr at by Harrison Tarr to go show up some support, tell him you missed him. And with all that being said, the College Loop podcast. Well, College Loop pregame preview. There we go.